Leverage plays such a critical role when it comes to investing. Now, does that mean I want you to go out and go buy a bunch of positions on leverage and put yourself in a position where you're going to have a margin call or you're going to get liquidated? No. I don't recommend doing that at all. But what I am saying is that you can use or view different open positions for long positions and short positions and use them as indicators to what you think is going to happen in the market. And today, we're going to look at it for Bitcoin. We're going to take a deeper dive into what the long positions are showing, what the short positions are showing, and what the story is for the Bitcoin outlook for the future of the price action of Bitcoin. So let's jump right into it on the charts. The first thing I want to talk about is the current state of Bitcoin, the current sentiment. Right now we're in this neutral state. We're sort of range bound, and we have been range bound for really the whole year. As we zoom out here, and let me just close that down, we can see we've been riding this 30 to 68K range all year, jumping back and out of it. And in addition to that, we also are below the bull market support band right now, which is typically a bearish signal. And until we get above that, I'm not convinced yet that the bull market is going to continue, even though I typically am more bullish than I am bearish when it comes to Bitcoin and where I think things are in terms of the cycle. But with that said, we also have the upper and lower bounds, right? We can see the lower bound is down here at 10,000. These are sort of exponential averages as far as what we can assume the risk level to be, and the upper bound being at the price of 102,000 if Bitcoin was to skyrocket right now. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. But it is a good frame of reference as to what could happen. So now that we have this out of the way and we know where the price action is, let's go over to the short positions, because I want to show you where we are in terms of what the big investors are doing. We can see right here, the short positions on Bitcoin are at an all-time low. They're pretty much bottom of the barrel right now, and the last time they were up was in June. So let's take a look at what happened to Bitcoin in the June time period. As we go back on the charts, in June, we could see that Bitcoin had already capitulated and was continuing on the downtrends, and really didn't start to pick back up until July. When we go back to the shorts, July starts to kick in right here. How ironic is it that the shorts either got liquidated or sold off right about the time that Bitcoin started to move up? Very interesting, right? It clearly looks like people started to have to close their positions as the Bitcoin price action started to rise. But currently, the short positions are very, very low, leading me to think that, okay, people aren't placing their bets that Bitcoin is going to continue on a downtrend. What it also could mean, though, is that people are neutral and they don't know what they want to do right now. The big time investors are just sitting in a neutral position, waiting to see what's going to happen. And so when we look at the long positions for Bitcoin, right now, we switch over to the long positions, we can see that the last time the Bitcoin long positions were high was back here in July. So what was happening in July? As we go back to the Bitcoin chart in July, we can see that that's when things started to rise and pick up. And it started to pick up into September, into August and September, and then continue on through November. But ironically, when we go back, look at the long positions, we can see here that the long started to come down even though the Bitcoin price was rising. Now, to me, that's very ironic, because you would think that people would continue to keep their long positions open in order to make the highest return possible. But ironically, as the longs came down, that's when Bitcoin continued to rise. So, with all of that said, what does that really tell us? Well, I think right now we're in a neutral position. I think we've been in a neutral position for a few days, and it may last a while, but we're in this sort of neutral position where we're below the bull market support band. We're kind of range bound. We're sort of holding steady around this 47, 48K range, and a lot of investors are unsure as to where they want to place their bets yet. Now, with that said, if you haven't used these indicators before, I highly recommend you look at these charts, because they can be a leading indicator as to what is going to happen. They at least tell you a little bit of what investor sentiment is and where you may want to place your positions. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the content, give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and I will catch you guys in my next video.